All right, let's talk a little bit more with one of the originators of the Joe and Hunter Biden scam, and maybe a little bit about fixing the border if such a thing is possible. We're going to bring in dear friend, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. As I said, he started this in the first place. Senator Johnson, I don't know if you saw any of our opening segment, but colored me very suspicious about this David Weiss indictment, blah, 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 coming a few days before Hunter Biden was going to go and be deposed in front of the Oversight Committee or the Judiciary Committee or one of them. And, you know, he didn't mention anything about the Foreign Registration Act or any of the influence peddling or any of those kinds of things. So color me a skeptic, Senator Johnson, and as one of the originators of this whole process, what do you think?
Well, Larry, listen, I think this investigation has been corrupt from day one. We certainly knew most of what's in this indictment, not all the details. I think what I found stunning about the indictment is the listing of expenditures. $4.9 million over 4 years. That's almost $24,000 a week, $3,300 a day. And, $872,000 spent on women and adult entertainment. That's over $4,000 a week and $600 a day. So, I mean, we knew he was spending money on women. Probably trafficked through international sex trafficking rings. I find that outrageous. I think it's outrageous that the media hasn't covered that. But no, I'm also suspicious of the timing of this. Just as James Comer is trying to bring Hunter Biden in for a transcribed interview, obviously Hunter's trying to avoid that. So this will probably frustrate Chairman Comer's attempt to get to the bottom of this as well. So color me suspicious as well. These indictments should have been brought years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think this is going to stop them. This is going to, because everybody knows that Papa Biden was involved in his kid's business. That's too easy. But we don't know the exact details, which might have come out if they allowed Hunter to go up there, at risk of contempt of Congress and actually do a private under oath deposition. Now they can't, and he won't do that. He'll either take the fifth or he won't show up because they already busted him. I mean, I think it's insane, and I see right through it. And I think Merrick Garland sees right through it. And I think that the Biden White House helped orchestrate this, Senator Johnson. You know that's not out of the question. That's the way hardball politics works.
Not at all. And, of course, the most important thing in this investigation are documents. And Chairman Comer, Chairman Smith, they had the whistleblowers. They were key. But we need documents. I don't know exactly, what kind of resistance they're getting in terms of getting all the bank records. Senator Grassley and I had the Treasury reports, showed all the suspicious activity, millions of dollars flowing from adversarial countries into this labyrinth of companies set up for money laundering. I mean, it's just been obvious for years. It's the detail, that money went in, where did it all go? And we're finding out it's going to many, many members of the Biden family that did nothing other than have the right name. This is corrupt from the get-go, and this investigation is corrupt as well.
Let me turn to this whole business about the foreign aid funding supplemental bill and so forth, because we had Senator Langford on last night. Nice fella, I guess, Oklahoma conservative. But I didn't really hear, the GOP has a chance to use this funding bill as leverage to get some significant progress in closing down our southern border, which has been opened wide by Mr. Biden in the last 3 years. The numbers are incredible. The terrorist threats are unbelievable, and the drugs and the sex trafficking and everything you know about. But you got a chance now to stop the perversion of the asylum-seeking business. Keep them in Mexico while they're waiting for some kind of State Department decision about asylum, for example. I mean, that's where I'd start, but I'm not hearing that from your colleagues, sir.
You're certainly hearing it from me. The open border, Biden, the Democrats' open border, is a clear and present danger to this country. It should be our number one national security and homeland security priority. And we have to use whatever leverage we have. Biden wants money for Ukraine, regardless how you view funding for Ukraine. We must use that as leverage. And so we just wrote an op-ed, Senator Scott and I did, for Fox News that says that any money going to Ukraine must be contingent on actually securing the border. We need to establish benchmarks, just like any kind of incentive you'd have in business. Benchmarks must be established, and they must be met before money flows on a monthly basis to Ukraine. It's common sense. They're looking for $60 billion. You know, President Trump, under current law, secured the border in about 12 months. He went from peak to trough in 12 months with remain in Mexico, safe third countries. So listen, I want the language that Senator Langford is trying to negotiate for. Democrats are not negotiating good faith. But regardless of what language we get passed, we cannot count on this president to faithfully execute those laws. This is a lawless administration. This is a president that wants an open border. Let's face it, the Supreme Court said that eviction moratoriums are unconstitutional. He extended it. The Supreme Court ruled that student loans is unconstitutional. He keeps forgiving them. So we need those hard metrics. We have to hold this administration's feet to fire. He does not get the money unless he secures the border.
And shows it by numerical measure.
Right.
I mean, they can measure this every week and every month. And so that's a terrific idea. I mean, right now, last one, Senator Johnson, as I understand it, what the Bidens want and what Senator Schumer apparently wants is they want another whatever, $5, $10, $15 billion that will facilitate illegal immigration. I would rather stop illegal immigration, wouldn't you?
No, that's the administration's policy. They are actually saying they're successful by facilitating more rapidly the processing, dispersing of illegal immigrants in this country. They don't think it's a problem. They think it's a challenge, and they think they've risen the challenge by making this more efficient. It's ridiculous.
Senator Ron Johnson, thank you, sir. As always, we appreciate your work and your visiting with us. We'll see you soon.